Night 2 of this series between the Jays and the Padres. On the ground to third base, Pauly charging in, fires low.
We are in San Diego working on the vacation backlog. We have De Jesus ×2 today. Toronto gets an extra out and makes the most of it in the first inning.
Stays fair, it's gone.
It is gone!
So we go to the bottom of the first. It's already 3-0. Bogarts, Tatis, Cronenworth, Machado, and Profar.
And that is strike 3. Fernando gets the bad news from Ramon de Jesus.
As you might have guessed, balls and strikes have a lot to do with this ejection.
And that is ball 4. So down.
And before you say, it only goes one way, well, here's Barrios saying, where'd that miss? Well, here's where that missed.
Takes it the other way.
And then Machado single brings up Jurickson Profar.
Takes a look at strike 1. Almost right down the middle.
I love how he says almost right down the middle. Accurate. Good call. During these foul balls, Toronto reminds us that
they haven't been too good in these situations during the season so far.
About that runners in scoring position performance. You knew I was going to fact check that, right?
Answer here in the bottom of the first inning. And that is strike 3. Profar doesn't like it, ends the inning, throws the bat, and the helmet has been tossed.
Profar asks what happened. Here's what happened. The pitch, first of all, is a strike and is properly called as such. Remember, it's any part of the ball, any part of the strike zone. Super close, but the correct call.
Ejected by the home plate umpire, Ramon de Jesus.
As for the ejection part, by now most of you are familiar with the point that umpires will give on spiked or thrown bats to signify equipment violations. That's an intermediate disciplinary step. It's basically a warning that throwing something else or continuing to argue will result in ejection. It's like the stop sign, but for throwing stuff.
And Shildt is fired up.
I voiced objection to this before because it locks an umpire into an obligation to eject on a second throw, no matter how benign the second one actually is. The bat was certainly demonstrative. Shildt's probably arguing they occurred in such quick succession it should be treated as the same thing, which is only a warning, but that's not how it works. The first throw is the warning. That's like a stop sign, and anything after that is an ejection.
We will step aside. Padres strand a pair through the bat. And then when he threw the helmet, that's when he tossed him.
Shildt argues vociferously, but to no avail.
3-0 Blue Jays.
Then they go to commercial for a while.
You know, we often heard the phrase, getting your money's worth. I'll tell you what, Mike Shildt got his money's worth.
So Mike Shildt still in conversation. This is Adrian Johnson, who is escorting a very angry Mike Shildt back to the dugout. He's been tossed out of the game, but he's been getting his money's worth for a couple of minutes.
And you and I both know.
So we've already heard Buck's inadvertent self-own on the runners in scoring position issue. So let's listen to him on the ejection.
He throws his bat down. There he throws his helmet down. And that's uncalled for. Just because he threw his bat and his helmet down, there's no reason to throw him out.
Again, I understand that viewpoint, but if you're broadcasting a game, you should probably know that this is the procedure and this is what's going to happen.
I mean, he was upset, right? So he throws his bat, throws his helmet, but he never said anything.
And that's kind of the point, throwing equipment in disgust over gestures. These are ways to get ejected without verbalizing anything.
Boy, that escalated quickly, as they say.